Bruh. He's not even trying to make them kill them. This is on par with the dancer storyline. Yo, he got the JoJo stand within him. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures looking different than I remember. I wasn't expecting an episode to hit me as hard as last season's with the acrobat Silky or whatever her name was. Surely they'd make us wait a bit longer than, what, 6 episodes? It wasn't that long ago. Damn. Dare I say best episode? Drop a like, show your support, subscribe if you're new around here, and Patreon is, of course, where we keep the full live reactions and other exclusives. So, I like Evil Eye. I went from thinking this thing looked like it would have been pulled out of a Diddy party to saying, you know what, I've been a bully. I see the light. Like, at the end of the day, did this thing manipulate Gigi into giving up his body and control so he could go kill a bunch of humans? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I kind of get where he's coming from. Because here's the thing. The way it was presented was that the evil sandworm thing and the diddler both had similar powers, and essentially either one of them will make you off yourself. We see throughout this episode, both Momo and Okarun were trying to, at multiple points, end their life. And my boy, no powers, just pure raw determination and he's him energy, stopped them as he was getting skewered. And the idea that, to see the backstory of just this kid, shriveled up, starved, because some village, some cultist village said, oh, we need to offer some sacrifices because that's a logical thing to do. Burned him at the stake, lava charred him, making him look like Armin from Attack on Titan, with no Titan serum in sight, mind you. And I think what gets me so much about that is he wasn't even initially dead. Birds were pecking at him. Like, I'll admit, I was a bit of a hater at first because I saw this weird creepy kid like spying on children doing some dances, but it's actually sad. Like, he just wanted a childhood and got murdered because some cultist decided to do that. And the idea that he becomes like a yokai, right? So he becomes a spirit. And at first I'm like, wait a second, is he like, this is tragic, right? Because they're pretty much saying like, you know, he doesn't mean to, but he's like causing all these families to commit suicide. But I don't think so. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't have a similar power, but to me it very much came across as like, no, the worm is doing all of the suicides. But because of the yokai being spotted in multiple points, probably got blamed for it. But even in the case that, you know, it was an accident and wasn't intentionally doing it, we know how spirits work in this show. We saw what happened with a mother who had grief in season 1. We see what happens when a child just wants to play. The fact that he tries to untie, because, you know, kid's tied up, couldn't do it because he's a ghost. And the idea of how that manifests into this evil eye abomination. I get it. Like, it's heartbreaking to see what a child went through. And the fact that Gigi, being the homie that he is, opened his eyes. And was like, you know what? I agree. I'll be here as long as you want. Now, does it give you the vibes of something like a Jujutsu Kaisen when your MC's kind of like getting possessed and it's like, oh shit. Is he ever going to come back from it? Yeah, but at the end of the day, whether or not Gigi will end up controlling this power or not remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, Gigi will still have a character. I don't think it's just going to be the Evil Eye show featuring Momo and Okarun. It could be a situation like Jekyll and Hyde or the Incredible Hulk and Bruce Banner, two very different people that fight for control over the body, or it will be something that we'll be able to use on command. But either way, keeping Gigi powerless, but having him be surrounded by two characters with powers probably wouldn't have made sense, so it kind of makes sense to give him this quote-unquote power-up with seemingly a heavy penalty all at the same time. Turbo Granny needed to learn to shut her mouth. She's like, damn it, I wanted to possess the boy if anyone was going to shut up, Turbo Granny. Listen, I feel for you because you almost got stabbed as our girl was trying to skewer herself, but still. Now, the thing is Gigi didn't really have a positive impression on me at the start of the show, like when he was introduced. But I always knew, I was like, even if the character's annoying, I'm sure there'll be good aspects to it. And I knew afterwards that, you know, a lot of people consider Gigi to be a fan favorite. And I very much enjoyed his character by the end of season 1, but this is the episode that turned him into a true best boy for me. Even ignoring everything that happened with Evil Eye, to see how far he went for Momo and Okarun, just pure raw he's him energy. was beautiful to witness. The idea that I don't think any other character would go as far as he did. Like, that thing looked like an abomination. You could have said it was Jesus Christ inside that horrible body, and most people would still be petrified. And he's like, you know what? This weird thing climbing all over me, just misunderstood, boss. Kind-hearted soul, but here's the real kicker. So, we know that all these families, like, this is what's so heartbreaking about the whole thing. Normal, happy families. And here's the thing. Depression can hit you. People can take their life and you'll have no idea they were depressed. High-functioning depression is a thing. But for the most part, that's not what was happening. Literally normal, functioning families, kids would just see their parents drown themselves, or hang themselves, or stab themselves because of this goddamn worm. And Gigi's parents, man. Similar thing, but seemingly they lived. But the thing that gets me is all that shit happened, and Gigi still functioned as the most cheerful, happy character we've seen in this show. I believe with every ounce of thought I have, Gigi is a prime example of high-functioning depression. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much the world kicked him down, he did try to see the glass half full. He had a smile. He wanted to encourage people. But you know damn well that type of imagery is going to live in your mind forever. Gigi, hands down, best character in this show. But I appreciate that I like all three of the central cast. Turbo Granny's like a sidekick. I'm talking about Momo, Okrum, and Gigi. I will admit, though, when Momo was talking like shit, she's like, don't do that. I just like, shut up, Momo. I love you in most cases, but this is Gigi's episode. It's his damn show. You're just the supporting cast, damn it. Beautifully produced. Emotional as hell, and I would personally argue the subject matter and storytelling was on par with the emotional heartbreak of last season of Dandadan with the acrobatic Silky or whatever her name was. That whole mother storyline, beautifully depressing. This show, for all the stuff that gets people riled up, and there's definitely some bad apples online who purposely like show the most out of context scenes, or even the scenes that are very questionable, because they just want the monetization of rage. And I don't think there's anything wrong with like clickbait and stuff, but this show has so much depth to its writing. It'd be great if a lot of grifters would stop trying to highlight the scenes of Momo being bent over by aliens and maybe touch upon the emotional depths of Gigi and Evil Eye's backstory, you know what I mean? Let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, and Patreon's where you're going to catch all those full live reactions and other exclusives like, hey, I give a video shout out to all my patrons. So today we got Ty Bondhaver, Javier Volkwitz, Carsten Seen Jensen, Jackson, Dr. Gold, Marshmallow God, Shadow, Frozen, and we also have Jinya. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.